Welcome to Where Are They Now, the new CUNY Startups podcast where we sit down with alumni from our startup programs and discuss their experiences, delving into their journeys, aspirations, and the unique experiences that the CUNY Startups programs have offered them. Not just to recount success stories, but also to unravel the challenges, the lessons learned, and the moments that define their entrepreneurial path.
Hi, thank you guys for coming. It's great to have you on, and I can't wait to hear more about your journey and where your startup has taken you. Can you each introduce yourself? What college did you go to? What was your major? And what is your current position?
So I was actually a accounting student at Baruch, but I swapped into computer science and I actually graduated from the College of Staten Island instead. Right now, I'm a software engineer at Warner Bros. Discovery.
So I went to CCNY, so City College of New York, and I studied comp sci. Yeah, I graduated in 2020, and that's when I was working as a web dev. And after that, I started pursuing Stipplo, and currently I'm still working part-time in Stipplo, as well as full-time in another e-commerce company I created, O Limited Inc. Yeah.
I studied at City College Computer Engineering, switched to computer science, graduated in 2020, worked at a startup for 2 years or 3 years, and then moved to where I am now, which is a Xometry, both as a software engineer. Now it's a Xometry, also as a software engineer.
Nice. Okay, so what was your guys' startup and how has it evolved since it was first created?
So our startup revolved around a job tracking platform. So, students would use our platform to keep track of their job search instead of using like Excel sheets or whatnot. So it's to keep the whole job search process like centralized in one platform. And currently it's still running, and we are also it's still offering out for free right now, and people are still using it. We also try to create another side of that job tracking platform, which is for the employer side. This is basically where like boot camps or these recruiting course like programs that want to help students look for jobs. They will use our platform to keep track of their students and make sure they're doing their job search and what they need help with and things like that.
Yeah, we essentially were just a SaaS platform for users to keep track of their applications through a clean UI as opposed to Excel spreadsheets like we were doing at the time.
Do you mind explaining what SaaS is?
Software as a service is essentially users pay for using a application as opposed to licensing it and hosting it themselves. They just pay us, and we create new features. We build out new tools for users, and all they have to do is just subscribe and pay a monthly fee.
How did your time with Stipplo shape your career path, and what connections did you find between your education and your current job?
Speaking from experience, the technical skills that I've actually learned while building Stipplo helped me during the interview process for my current job. And I was able to deeply talk about our tech stack, the technical decisions we made to build the product. And that has definitely helped me get to where I am today. And also the one-on-one mentorships with our mentors. We had 3, and we had to meet every week. Just getting constructive feedback and having it to improve our own performance and just our slides and final out product. That has been incredibly helpful in the job process.
Yeah, as for me, it's definitely it does shape me in my current business right now. So with CUNY Startup, it kind of taught me about how to run a business in general instead of just like, oh, I create a product and here it is, and having these mentors, as Henry mentioned, they kind of give us like feedback on like, oh, what else you need to think about, like your team, your tasks, like roles and things like that. So right now I am running, I do have employees for my other e-commerce startup, and from these tips from our mentors, I kind of learn how to basically, instruct them and run the business and have a team.
Yeah, I would just repeat what Harry said since we're pretty similar on our career paths. It was good hearing from the mentors who have been in the industry and have ran their own businesses and getting firsthand experiences and accounts from them. So yeah.
How does Stipplo continue to contribute to your growth? So basically, how does that affect you today and like the way that you operate in your current roles?
We still talk to our users. We still get emails from Stipplo users from time to time. So it's nice to see that people still use it and give us their feedback and we could see what we could do based on our limited time since we're not actively working on it. That has been encouraging, and I think it just learning how to take feedback and applying it to whatever I'm working on, that has definitely helped me.
And as for me, like Stipplo, I guess having it running and having it seeing like users still growing and whatnot, it kind of give us basically like Harry said, encouragement to keep continuing and working on this is something we created, and this is we can do more, or we can we basically like believe in ourselves, and you can make a product out of nothing in a way. It's basically like our first baby, Yeah.
Yeah, I'll add on to that by saying I think it's also provided some experience as like a jumping board for other ventures that we have done or will do, like how we should work together as founders, for example, what we should establish before we actually like make a business, for example, how we delegate responsibilities and things like that, like conflicts that we've gone through that helped us grow.
Can you tell me about your experience with CUNY Startups and how it influenced your entrepreneurial mindset?
The one-on-one with our mentors, super helpful, especially since they came from diverse backgrounds in terms of what they specialized in business. So I don't know if they helped us entrepreneurially, but they definitely helped us with the logistics of actually starting a new business, like how to create an LLC, getting paperwork done regarding that, and just starting an LLC, creating an actual corporate entity, and finding tax accountants.
Yeah, to add on to Harry's, definitely, go back to our mentors, teaching us about how to actually run the business and teamwork, also task delegation and our position in the business. These are all things that, as we started Stipplo, we didn't know what our roles are. We just kind of like, oh, we're going to create this. And it was kind of all over the place. And, our mentor, CUNY Startup, that for sure, put us in our position, or like we had to notice our role and what we need to do to grow the business or build the business and bring it to reality. And that's something that I apply even now to our my other businesses. It's important to know your role as a founder, your partner's role, and what tasks you can delegate and what tasks move the business and improve the business.
At Stipplo, what were some key challenges you faced, and how did your roles evolve?
When we first started Stipplo, we were all basically just the dev in a way and just working on the products and not really know what features is needed and what is not needed. We were just kind of like, oh, I think we need this. I think we need that. We grow as, we talk to our mentors and we all kind of assign us a role of what we should do and, like market research, things like that. Growing out to basically learning what users actually need and not just what we need for the product or for anything in business in general. Basically finding market needs for your products. Yeah.
Since you guys were all computer science majors, how did Stipplo and your startup basically round out your entrepreneurial and business education?
I came from Baruch, so that's a business school. So I hung out with a lot of business students, and there was definitely a culture of finance and accounting and business because every day you would see students wearing suits going to their part-time jobs after work. I'm sure you know this because you're from Baruch as well. Yeah. So I was always interested in finance and accounting from that perspective. This is not necessarily do it. So that has definitely helped me learn business as well, connect the ideas of comp sci just from coding to actually making a product that's people will use.
As for me, since I went to school as comp sci, I thought I would be a, software engineer. I was a web dev after I graduated for a year. So after actually working in the field and, and then having Stipplo as like the startup on the side, it kind of gave me like the idea of, oh, you can create your own business. This is kind of fun, and actually because of that, I kind of steered away from the software engineering side because as good as you are, I guess behind the screen and just typing and coding is pretty fun to create a product that people use or even a business that there's basically no cap on growth. Like 2-3 years ago, I would never imagine running a business making at least $500,000 annually. And now I'm running 100K, annually in sales last year. And this year is, hoping to exceed that, aiming for 800 at least. Yeah. So that's like something that's a big change in my life. 3 years ago, I can't imagine making that number in a year. And now, is there.
I was kind of already was doing something related to business prior to starting to Stipplo, which was running essentially a Discord bot that generated money that had me kind of running essentially a business in its own because it currently generates not much, but maybe around 15 to 20K in revenue. And that's more than what Stipplo has earned. So that's given me more of that helped me set up to go into Stipplo. But yeah, I think probably not the answer you're looking for then. So
I'm not looking for any answers in particular. You guys answer as honestly as you can.
Gotcha.
Since you don't work on Stipplo as much anymore, what other takeaways did you guys get from CUNY Startups?
Having our weekly meetings one-on-one with our mentors, that I do that in the workplace as well. I meet weekly with my manager, so it just helped me to learn how to take constructive feedback and actually use it to improve on my performance, learn from my mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on with Harry, I do want to say the weekly meetings with the mentors are super helpful because not just that we're meeting with them and just discussing, they also give us basically like homework in a way to kind of like, you got to think about what your next task is or next step is in your product to, make it a reality or like build it. And having that, I guess, go in mind and not just kind of building aimlessly with no deadline and things like that is really important, especially if you actually run a business, because you also want to give yourself when you should have this product done and what features you should have it done by, so you can actually have a working product and pushing out MVPs or things like that, version 1, version 2, and also teaching us to ask yourself like what is your task in the in the business, what's your role in the business, things like that. Definitely helpful from the mentors.
Yeah, with relation to roles and responsibilities and stuff, doing the startup early on, I think helped me learn how to work with other people at like such a kind of like an equal level, I guess, which helped me be a little more considerate of other people's opinions in the workplace, for example, making sure like everyone's heard, not to be so dismissive sometimes even if I think that it's, not a great idea, I should understand why, for example. Yeah, things like that related to teamwork.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. It's been great learning about your startup and where you guys are at now. Have a nice day. Bye.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Christian.
you.